Ribol Prabhuji. Prabhuji, you will share the screen or you want me to share the screen, Prabhuji? I have to turn on my laptop. I have to.
I can share, Prabhu.
Okay, Prabhuji, I think we can start. Hare Krishna devotees, Dandavat Pranam. Welcome to Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. Today we are very glad to have the association of His Grace Vanamali Govinda Prabhu. We'll be sharing the nectar from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 5, chapter number 14 and sloka number 38. Prabhuji, over to you, Prabhuji. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Yes, Prabhu.
Prabhuji, your video is not turned on. Prabhuji.
Yeah, I'll turn it on. Is my voice clear or is it echoing?
Little bit echoing, Prabhu.
Okay. Let's see what. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Is it better now?
Yes, Prabhuji, it is better, Prabhuji.
Okay. Oh, let me know if the kirtan is coming clear.
Okay, Prabhuji.
जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी यशोदानंदन व्रज जनरंजन यशोदानंदन व्रज जनरंजन यशोदानंदन व्रज जनरंजन यमुना तीरा वनचारी यमुना तीरा वनचारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी यशोदानंदन व्रज जनरंजन यशोदानंदन व्रज जनरंजन यशोदानंदन व्रज जनरंजन हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे Kai Gaur Premanande. Hare Krishna. Was my sound audible, Prabhu? Was it
Now
okay
it is
with the
very clear,
Kirtan?
Prabhu. Now it is clear, Prabhu. Now.
Okay, fine. So I will be sharing the screen. We welcome all the devotees online. Today we'll be hearing from 5th canto, 14th chapter, shloka number 38. We'll start with the prayers. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Rupakadamahyam Dadati Swapadantika Vandeham Shri Guru Shriyutappadakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadhvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gauratvishe Namaha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesh Gopika Kantaradha Kanta Namostute तप्त कांचन गौरांगी श्री राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरा भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय नारायणं नमस्कृत्यं नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरये नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवतीरुत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकी नन्दनाय च नन्दगोपकुमाराय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः. Okay, Mataji is feeling that the volume is low, so I'll try to speak more louder. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare. Is the volume better now? Okay, Mataji, thank you. Please let me know in case my volume is low. I'll try to speak little louder and keep the laptop closer. So once
Prabhuji, can
again,
you adjust the camera a little bit, Prabhu, because your full face is not visible and we are doing.
yes.
Yeah, this is okay now, Prabhu.
Okay. So we will not recite the shloka, but we'll just it's a prose, so we'll directly go for the translation. So here we see that Jadabharata is telling about the nature of the material world to Rahuguna. So we'll directly go for the translation. Is it okay, Sankar Shamitai Prabhu? Because the verse prose is little longer, difficult to recite also.
Okay, Prabhuji.
Okay.
Fine.
The path of this material world is full of material miseries and various troubles disturb the conditioned soul. Sometimes he loses and sometimes he gains. In either case, the path is full of danger. Sometimes the conditioned soul is separated from his father by death or other circumstances. Leaving him aside, he gradually becomes attached to others, such as his children. In this way, the conditioned soul is sometimes illusioned and afraid. Sometimes he cries loudly out of fear. Sometimes he is happy, maintaining his family, and sometimes he is overjoyed and sings melodiously. In this way, he becomes entangled and forgets his separation from the Supreme Personality of Godhead since time immemorial. Thus, he traverses the dangerous path of material existence, and on this path, he is not at all happy. Those who are self realized simply take shelter of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. In order to get out of this dangerous material existence, without accepting the devotional path, one cannot get out of the clutches of material existence. The conclusion is that no one can be happy in material life. One must take to Krishna consciousness. Purport by His Divine Grace, Abhay Charnarvind Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. This we are reading 5.14.38. By thoroughly analyzing the materialistic way of life, any insane man can understand that there is not the least happiness in this world. However, due to continuing on the path of danger from time immemorial and not associating with saintly persons, this will be the subject matter of our today's discussion. Not associating with saintly persons, the conditioned soul under illusion wants to enjoy this material world. Material energy sometimes gives him a chance at so called happiness. But the conditioned soul is perpetually being punished by material nature. It is therefore said, Dandya jane raja yena nadite chubai. Materialistic life means continuous unhappiness. But sometimes we accept happiness as it appears between the gaps. Sometimes a condemned person is submerged in water and hauled out. Actually, all of this is meant for punishment. But he feels a little comfort when he is taken out of the water. This is the situation with the conditioned soul. All the Shastras therefore advise that one associate with devotees and saintly people. Together we'll recite the shloka. Sadhu Sangha Sarva Shastra Kahe Lava Matra Sadhu Sange Sarva Siddhi Hoye. Chaitanya Charitamrit Madhya Leela 22.54. Even by a little association with devotees, the conditioned soul can get out of this miserable condition. This Krishna consciousness movement is therefore trying to give everyone a chance to associate with saintly people. Therefore, all the members of this Krishna consciousness society must themselves be perfect sadhus in order to give a chance to fallen conditioned souls. This is the best humanitarian work. So, I'm very grateful to be once again in the assembly of the Vaishnavas of ISKCON South Bangalore on this Nityam Bhagavata Seva platform. I'm thankful to Sankarshan Priya Prabhu to give this chance for sharing something, whatever I have heard in the Parampara, for my own purification and for the pleasure of devotees in their lordships. I am here in Manipal Youth Center, so we have our base devotees also hearing. So I have combined it. So today, as we see the topic, Prabhupada mentioning about those who could not take the association of the saintly people. They are the ones who are suffering, and the association of the saintly people is the only solution mentioned over here. That is to take to Krishna consciousness. So, Adhau Shraddha Sadhu Sangha Bhajana Kriya. This adhav shraddha, the initial shraddha, comes from the sadhu, and after taking up to Krishna consciousness also, we see that every moment we need the sadhu sangha. Hmm? Now you may be wondering, Prabhu, you have kept the topic of association of the saintly persons as a main topic, but we are doing daily association of devotees. We are daily hearing Bhagavatam class. So then, yes, sometimes we see that many times after associating for long time, we are still having similar anarthas, and we feel that somehow the process is not affecting so much as I would have guessed. I thought within 3-4 years I will become very advanced devotee. But somehow I see that lingering thoughts or anarthas are still there. Then where may be the problem? So yes, there could be a problem in our hearing process itself. And out of the 9 angas of bhakti, yes, Kirtanam is considered to be the king. But Prabhupada often writes that Shravanam is also very important, because the quality of Shravanam will decide the quality of Kirtanam. And that is why we will focus on how things can go wrong in our association, in our hearing process. Because what is association? Association is just physically staying with each other. Yes, Prabhu, I am associating with you. Or actually taking knowledge transmission, heart transformation. That is association. To exchange spiritual thoughts and to learn from each other and to apply the instructions heard from the seniors or whoever we have heard, and that will actually term what association is. So yes, uh, uh, we will discuss on what are the processes or factors which affect hearing, what are the things which may affect our hearing and make it a dilute process, and how we can take association of Srila Prabhupada and make our hearing process and association very strong. So this will be our main thoughts of discussion today. So I would like to start with an example that for a neophyte devotee or a new person who has not come into Krishna consciousness. So if he is coming, uh, or let us say a new person who has started the job in engineering or is about to start a job in engineering, he has just passed out, okay, from an average college. So he goes for an interview, and we see sometimes many of our youths, they struggle to get job immediately after passing out, especially in colleges which are not so reputed, you know. So with the moment they go ask for an interview, what happens? Oh, no experience, so not given preference. But if we want experience, what they want a job, but for job they need experience. So he is caught up in a vicious cycle. Why no job? Because no experience. Why no experience? Because no job. So this is how the new graduate trainee gets stuck up into. So how, what can be a solution for him? Any youth devotee would like to, or anybody online? How can you help now? What is a suggestion for this new youth devotee who is not getting any job because no experience?
Prabhuji, typically they take apprenticeship. Actually, what they do is they take people on apprenticeship. They will be trained like a OGT, and based on their performance, they will be considered as a experienced candidate later, 1 year, 2 years, like that. I
Yes.
started my career like that.
Yes. So Sankarshan Prabhu is telling about apprenticeship. He has to undergo apprenticeship, but somebody has to grant him apprenticeship, because he is a new graduate trainee. And when somebody recommends him, as Manas Prabhu is telling, recommendation of a relative, okay, तुम्हें जॉब नहीं मिल रहा है, आ जाओ मेरी कंपनी में आ जाओ, मैं तुम्हें काम दे दूंगा, I will give you some work. No problem, no experience required. Just come and be here and see how to work 6 months, 1 year. And that experience will make sometimes, or the experience of the apprenticeship given by some near and dear one makes a breakthrough for this new graduate training. Similarly, bhakti, to enter into bhakti, we cannot enter by pious credits only. Pious credits does not lead to bhakti. Bhakti is independent of pious credits. How much ever dana punya you might have done. Only agyat bhakti sukruti or bhakti credits can give rise to bhakti. So a devotee is the one who makes us qualified to enter into the cycle of bhakti, the devotional cycle. It's the mercy of the devotee. That's why when Srila Prabhupada was asking the Westerners, and what is your qualification? Or they rather asked Prabhupada, what is our qualification that we have come into bhakti path? What was Prabhupada's answer?
His mercy.
You have no qualification. I made your qualification. So it was Prabhupada who intervened in their life and gave them the entry to the bhakti path. So to enter also we need association of devotees. To carry on also we need the association of devotees. And finally, after passing out from this material world, going to spiritual world, there also probably we will be in the same association of the devotees. So we should not do jagada here. If we do jagada here, then what will happen? Then we will not release the devotees of the association of devotees there. Oh, this is the same devotee whom I was doing jagada with. So we may not allow enter only. So first of all, we don't have to do jagada. Secondly, we should understand the importance of the association of devotees throughout our process. And that is why this hearing process should be very nicely done. So in the purport, we see Srila Prabhupada is mentioning that there is no happiness in the material world. Dukhalayam ashashvatam. Lord Krishna has put, the manufacturer has put a sticker on that there is no dukha, no sukha. So we cannot search. Sri Prahlad Maharaj tells, what is the only way to find sukha in this material world? To stop finding sukha. First he tells, don't find material sukha here. Because there is no possibility to find material sukha. Even if it is there, it is temporary. As Prabhupada gave a wonderful example of a person who is getting drowned in the water, punishment. And as a punishment, what they do, so that he survives, he is removed from the water for 30 seconds. And again, 45 seconds or so, again drowned. So what the person think, this 30 seconds is a gap of happiness. But what it is? Absence of sadness. Absence of sadness. And that is why this so-called material happiness which we are experiencing, when it stops, it appears that, it is, when there is no material happiness, there is some gaps which are there. There is material dukkha, and when there is no material dukkha, we may feel this is happiness, which is actually absence of sadness. So this is why we need the association of sadhus. With this example, Prabhupada is clarifying us that there is actually no happiness. Whatever temporary happiness you may feel, it is just some momentary and absence of actual happiness which is in the spiritual world. So don't get carried away that when there is no sadness, don't consider it as happiness. This graphic example makes it clear that the whole process is sad only. The person who is drowned for 45 seconds and removed for 15 seconds or 30 seconds. The oxygen which he is breathing is not happiness. It is just absence of sadness. We should be very clear with this. And this frustration with the material happiness is a impetus for one to take up bhakti very seriously. It is not the thing which will continue us in bhakti, but at least this realization that this is also a sadness will be an impetus to take hold, to take shelter of the bhakti path very strongly. We are not just focusing that, this is dukha bhago idhar se. That is not the only criteria, but at least it helps to understand, to start that don't take shelter on the fallible soldiers, our near and dear ones. My relatives will save me, my bank balance will save me, My education will save me. Janma, Aishwarya, Shruta, Shri, these are biggest obstacles, as Kunti Maharani tells, in the path of bhakti. So in Bhagavatam, there is one more verse which comes. You can repeat after me. Prasangam ajaram pasham
Prasangam acharam pasham
atmano kavayo viduhu
atmano kavayo viduhu
sa esha sadhushu krito
saesha sadhusho krito
moksha dwaram apavratam.
moksha dwaram apavritam.
Prasangam ajaram pasham. So this bondage to material life style is very very strong. Prasangam ajaram pasham. The pasha is very very strong. Atmano kavayo viduhu. All kavis and acharyas and scholars have agreed that yes, indeed it is a very strong bondage. But if you transfer this attachment to what? From what to what? Now the attachment is towards materialistic hankerings, materialistic happiness. Transfer this to sadhu. Sa eva sadhushu krito. The hippies became attracted to whom? Prabhupada. And that made a drastic change, 180-degree change. And that same attachment will give you entry to moksha dwaram apavritam. The doors to spiritual world will open. So many times devotees fail to have a very strong attachment to a sadhu. Relationship to a personality is very weak. Even to one's own spiritual master also, it may not be very strong. It may be very superficially following up. And it is said in His Holiness Bhakti Tirth Swami Maharaj also writes in his book, Kapatyam. They wear dhoti, kurta, tilak, and when spiritual master comes, they give dandavat pranam, but they don't follow the instructions. This is duplicity. This is kapatya. This is not genuine, sincerely following. Once, one sannyasi came to the temple and one disciple came with a big garland. Guru Maharaj ki jai ho. And Guru Maharaj asked the president, so how often this fellow comes to temple? Maharaj regularly comes once a year when you come to the temple. So this is how, if we remain superficial in our following, then it will not attract the mercy. Now one may think that I am not superficially following, I have so much love for my Guru Maharaj. Then one devotee was telling, Prabhuji, I like you very much. I appreciate all your lectures. You give so nice lectures. Then that Prabhuji asked, okay, can you tell one point from today's lecture? Regarding that, no, but Prabhuji, all your points were very nice. Super lecture, Prabhuji. But that is okay, but can you tell one point? That I am not remembering, Prabhuji, but I will recall. That means he has not heard the lecture. He has superficially heard the lecture. He is not able to repeat one point. It is sentimental love, sentimental affection. So now we will discuss that what are the factors which are affecting our hearing process and how we can strengthen our hearing process, because Shravanam is our basis. So number one, first of all, yes, here Prabhupada is telling take sadhu sangha. This is the only solution to get rid of this problem of attachment to materialistic things. Sadhu can only cut. Another meaning of sadhu is to cut our attachment. So if we want to allow the sadhu to cut the attachment, we need to make our hearing process very transparent, very, very effective. And these are the factors which we can consider. Number one, bona fide source. You may say, yes, Prabhu, we are hearing daily from bona fide people only. But nowadays in the internet media, in the social media, there are so many options for us to hear. And even sometimes it is seen that the ISKCON devotees also, they are hearing from non-bona fide sources. They are not approved sources. They may be hearing from here and there which are not in the parampara. So especially in the social media influence, sometimes even ISKCON devotees also are not repeating from Srila Prabhupada's purports. They are reading from some WhatsApp message and they are not repeating what Prabhupada is telling, or they themselves are not reading Prabhupada books. So naturally, they may repeat some few points from Prabhupada books here and there, but they will not repeat Srila Prabhupada as it is, and that is why the effect of the lecture will not be very strong. So hearing from the bona fide source and as it is repeating the message essentially is very very important, and not doing anything mirch masala or hearing something which is entertaining. ओ ये प्रभु जी क्या क्लास देते हैं प्रभु जी, हर 1 मिनट में 5 जोक आता है. So we, if this is our criterion to hear lecture, then it is not a very good thing. And naturally, if that is our criteria, the speaker also will be motivated to tell some jokes, and we will not be able to gain from the lecture sufficiently or repeat from the parampara. Secondly, the eagerness of hearing our lecture. Now, how much hungry we are. Okay, attendance. I am present in Bhagavatam class. P. I am there, but physically we are present, mentally we are absent. Or the speaker is coming before and the followers are coming late, the hearers are coming late. That means how much eager we are for the class we can see. We are not very eager. If the person is eager, like Parikshit Maharaj, he is hungry, he is stopping to eat, stopping to even drink water. He is telling Shukdev Maharaj, please don't cut out and don't skip the details. Please tell, I'm eager. Don't think I'm getting bored here. Please don't skip out the details. They are very eager. And when the audience is very eager, the speaker becomes all the more eager, and they can draw out from the speaker more. So our eagerness can be shown by our enthusiasm, by coming on time, by remaining awake in the class. Sometimes if devotees are sleeping in the class, and that may discourage the speaker if the speaker is not so elevated like Prabhupada. Prabhupada may be able to tolerate and go on, but that enthusiasm of the hearer also affects the speaker. I am sure all of you know the Dundubi and Gokarna story. How Dundubi was cursed and he got a ghostly body, correct? But by attentively hearing Bhagavatam, he went back to Godhead in the same Bhagavatam class where others were not able to go. And the reason they asked Gokarna, why Dundubi went and why we did not hear? We also heard the same Bhagavatam. Huh? मनन कर रहा था. First he heard, he was very hungry. अरे मेरे को घोसली बॉडी मिल गया है. So are we hungry? Are we feeling the pain of material suffering? Are we feeling that our condition is like this person who is being drowned for 30 seconds and removed for 15 seconds? Or we are delighting in material enjoyment? We are delighting in sense gratification. If our frustration has not come up, then we will not be hungry to hear that today let me hear from Bhagavatam class. Today let me get the points. Why am I not able to progress? Why in spite of being 3-4 years chanting Hare Krishna, I am still delighting in sense enjoyment and not getting the taste to go ahead further. So that eagerness is very important. Now with a hungry heart, Parikshit Maharaj came and heard and he benefited. So what is our hunger? That we need to check ourselves. And submissively hearing the Bhagavatam class. This is the verse, Tadvidhi pranipatena paradi prashnena sevaya. First is pranipat, not in a challenging spirit, but in a submissive spirit. We are not here to test the speaker. देखते हैं इसको जरा कितना आता है. What kind of shlokas he is able to repeat, or does he know some Acharya's commentary or not? I know some more commentaries from Acharya. So Sanskrit testing. So if we come in this spirit, then we will not be able to learn either. And sometimes one devotee was asking, Prabhuji, is it okay to hear some yoga classes from a non-bona fide, non-ISKCON devotee? Prabhu, I am learning yoga only, na? So that is okay, no? One second, this got disconnected, I think. I think I got disconnected. Just I am trying to reconnect again my video. Hare Krishna, I'm just reconnecting my video.
Okay, Prabhuji.
Maybe some internet was not so strong. Internet is okay, no? Internet is okay, no? Yeah. So, okay, I'm now audible and visible also. So, we were discussing about that yoga, learning yoga from non bona fide, or from non ISKCON. Can I learn yoga at least to make my health okay? And for that we may succumb to some internet sources which may not be devotees. So here also we need to be very very careful. There are many people who have learned Sanskrit classes or yoga classes from non devotees, and sometimes they have got into wrong track. Okay, for example, there are many people who have learned Sanskrit and trying to find faults in spiritual master or in Srila Prabhupada's books. So this should not be the reason. We can learn Sanskrit, no doubt. There are many who learn and they have, but we should have permission from our counselors, and we should have permission from our Shiksha Gurus, or to learn yoga also. When we are learning, do we have adhikar? Why? Because by doing this we may sometimes get deviated, and we may see that it may be observed as a deviation when we are not doing with a proper motive, and when we are associating with non-devotees. Many times it gets infected. What to speak of yoga? Even the spiritual subject matter like Bhagavatam, if we hear from non-devotees, there is a famous analogy given in I think both Bhagavatam and Chaitanya Charitamrut, that a milk which is drunk, which is tasted by a snake, a poisonous snake, uh, uh, if we drink that milk, what will happen? We will also become poisoned. So, hearing Bhagavatam from a non bona fide source is like drinking a poisonous milk tasted by a snake. Why this analogy is given? Because milk looks like milk only, it doesn't look like poison. So, Bhagavatam or spiritual subject matters look like transcendental and spiritual. But when it is heard from a non bona fide source, it is very, very poisonous. And Mayavadis especially, they are telling Bhagavatam and Leela only. But when they have this consciousness of becoming one with the Lord, it infects us very deeply. So we should get it clarified from our Shiksha Gurus from where we are hearing. What to speak of yoga and Sanskrit, even devotional subject matter should be verified. And yes, under the direction, under the proper guidance, one can do and one can be safe. Otherwise, it can be very, very drastically disastrous for one's life. And so few reasons we discussed till now is like hearing from bona fide source, hearing with eagerness, hearing with no ulterior motives. I mean that we will discuss now. Hearing submissively, and even yoga or Sanskrit kind of things also, preferably under guidance. Not that we should not hear, but we should be under guidance for what span we are hearing and what source we are hearing. We should check with our seniors, and if the seniors are telling okay, then only we should go and do endeavor. So, and we discuss what can be the ill effects if we have not done properly. We may find faults in a Acharya's commentary, Srila Prabhupada, or we may slacken our practice. During morning program, we are doing yoga and chanting when in the evening time. So, is that a very good option? Chanting we should keep for the morning time. We can do exercise, but we can complete our chanting and then do exercise. So then it will be proper. Internet is going now and again and again. See, it is creating problem. Huh? I think I will start my hotspot. Yeah, it should not happen again. hotspot should start now. I do not. Hare Krishna. Yeah, tell me. Galaxy connected. Okay, now I think it will come. Yeah, Prabhuji, very very sorry. Now I have changed the internet itself.
Okay, Prabhuji.
I have changed internet. I was not aware of internet issue here. It just came yesterday, but now it will not come because I have changed the internet itself. Source. I'm just switching on the video now. Both. Yes. So the video will come on. Yeah, so we were discussing about the factors affecting hearing. So now there can be some other factors like ulterior motive with which one may hear. So what can be the ulterior motive? One may hear to do nectar shopping. I want to get some points in the class today. Every 2 minutes I should hear one new point from the speaker, and then I will repeat it and give myself a class. If the speaker is repeating from the previous things what I have heard, then I am not very interested. I did not hear anything new today. But what we should be hearing with the proper attitude, that how devotionally this speaker is speaking. And we hear many Maharajis, many senior devotees, they speak the same thing but with different realizations and devotion, which can affect. Actually, what we are doing while hearing and taking association, we are trying to associate with the modes of the person, how much high level his sattva guna is. So that is what should be the attitude in our hearing. And we should not do selective hearing, even selective reading. These are also very dangerous. What is selective hearing and selective reading? For example, Srila Prabhupada tells that Striya, Vaishya, Tatha, Shudra, the women are not so intelligent. So one will pick up, see, women are not intelligent. If they tell like that, then it is a very selective thing. But Prabhupada has told, those women who are devotees, they are not considered in a women category at all. So it is only applicable to a certain aspect, and we don't have to enlarge and make it a norm. We should understand with great maturity what Prabhupada is telling, because he is saying in different context. So if we pull out something and tell that Prabhupada says like this, then that is a wrong hearing or wrong reading. So we should not do selective hearing and selective. What we want only we should not hear. देखो प्रभुजी ने ये बोला क्लास में, है ना? Yes, Prabhuji emphasized on hearing, but even chanting is also important with this hearing. So we should have a very mature understanding in our hearing. This is how the problems come. So with this background of what are the processes and factors affecting hearing, let us now come to the main conclusion of how we should take more shelter of Srila Prabhupada, who has come here to give us pure devotional service. Yes, Prabhupada tells sometimes we should go back to Godhead in how much lifetime? This lifetime. Perfect. So some may tell, Prabhuji, मेरा काम नहीं है प्रभु जी, मैं 2-3 लाइफ लूंगा प्रभु जी, मैं धीरे धीरे आता हूँ प्रभु जी, आपको जाना है तो आप जल्दी जाइए प्रभु जी, माता जी आप जल्दी जाइए, मेरे को टाइम लगेगा प्रभु जी. And somebody may tell like that, but we should never say like this. Prabhupada wants us, means it is possible. We should have a desire and we should put our full endeavors also for that. We should not tell this pure devotional service is very difficult, ये मेरा काम नहीं है. Prabhupada told, yes, material life is impossible. Even the spiritual life is difficult, but material life is impossible. So how can we tell that it is not possible for me? It may be difficult, but we have to try for that. We should not dilute the principles just because it may appear difficult. So we should not do bhakti in a form of a piety, thoda bhakti, thoda sense gratification. Like we see in India, piety is very common. People like once one brahmachari sat in a train, and suddenly when the train started in Maharashtra, all the people around, they started, Jai Jai Panduranga, Jai Deva, Panduranga. And suddenly he thought, where am I? I'm in muttering Vithala, Vithala, Jai Panduranga. So then afterwards, why this is after this also, I changed my Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, am I audible? Sankarshan Priya Prabhu?
Yes, Prabhuji, you are audible,
Yes, we
Prabhu.
can hear you now.
Okay, you are audible. Nah? Only the this one you have to connect properly.
The
Yeah,
video
so
is
I will
not coming
continue. They
clear
will
for
just
me, I think.
yeah, they will just connect the video, but I will continue the class. So the speaker was telling the brahmachari that where am I? I am in Vaikuntha or I am in spiritual world, or how people are chanting everybody the names of Panduranga. But then later on, they saw that with the 3 minutes they stopped chanting and they started playing cards. So this is the nature. They have only show of spiritualism. They don't actually mean. And one fellow was putting agarbatti in the office and rolling the agarbatti to 2 3 demigods, and then he started his work throughout the day. That's all. Close the altar. So we should understand that spiritual life is not only that in the home or in the morning program, but throughout our day also we should be engaged in some or the other way discussions. And how Srila Prabhupada did. Srila Prabhupada gave Nancy the name Nandarani Mataji. Nandarani Mataji. So why she gave the name Nandarani Mataji? Because she was doing cooking. So she that time when she was making puri for the Lord, Prabhupada told that oh Nandarani, you know what is your name, meaning of your name, Nandarani. Then Nandarani Mataji will know, Prabhupada, I don't know. Oh, Nandarani is none other but Yashoda, the queen of Vraja, and the wife of Nanda Maharaj. So you should be serving Yashoda Mai. You should be serving in that spirit that you are assisting Yashoda to cook for Krishna. And then she realized, oh, this is the reason of my name. This is the meaning. I should adopt this. I should try to be in this mood. So like that, Prabhupada in each and every transaction he made devotees Krishna conscious. So similarly, we should also not engage in Prajalpa but discuss Krishna Katha while taking association, not only during Bhagavatam class but off the Bhagavatam class also. We should not discuss Bhagavatam only morning, but during our daytime also our interaction can be Bhagavatam oriented. So we should have full faith in the representative of Acharyas and Srila Prabhupada especially, that he has given us Krishna, and whatever he has given, and that is perfect. There is no other things required for us. So that should be the conviction which we should have, that Prabhupada has given enough and we don't have to search anything anywhere else. Srila Prabhupada way is the best way and sure short way to back home, back to Godhead. Uh, uh, what is our inspiration? We should check. Sometimes there are people with some ulterior motives. They want to take a post or position, or they have a salary. They may have different inspirations to be doing bhakti, but we should be knowing that ahaituki and apratihata, that should be the motivation. Then our progress will be very fast. And such inclination we should have towards our Shiksha Guru also, because Prabhupada told spiritual masters. So Shiksha Guru who is giving prominent Shiksha also should be on the equal platform to Diksha Guru, because both are revered. The one who is teaching us Mridanga may not be considered on the same level to Diksha Guru, but from the one who are getting, we are getting the same inspiration, the same spiritual knowledge, and whom we are associating and taking close guidance. He is as good as representing our Diksha Guru. So we should be respectful and we should have love and faith and respect towards them. So when such love and respect is there, then you will see that the instructions and the advice which he is giving in his classes will be taken more seriously. And then our progress will be faster. So the one idea which I have personally benefited is hearing Srila Prabhupada lectures again and again. Daily hearing Prabhupada's lecture. Prabhupada may be saying the same soul and body thing, but the devotion with which he tells, that will affect us, and that is what we need. We should try and hear more and more Prabhupada, and that will only come out. Whatever we take in comes out also. But if we have critical mentality, we are finding faults with devotees, then we will not be able to take in and with respect. We should be very, very careful. Srila Prabhupada said, for example, sometimes we may be careful in associating with some senior devotees. They may sometimes chastise us, and we may feel bad, but we should not be fearful of that. That is good for us. Like, for example, Srila Prabhupada only used to chastise. Like, there was one rich man. He came, Prabhupada, you people are also eating and sleeping nicely in a posh facility, and I am also rich. What is the difference between me and you? Prabhupada told, you know, see that pig? The pig is very, very fat and eating and nicely. The pig is also eating all nasty things. What is the difference between you and the pig? The devotees became shocked. What, Prabhupada, now? What is his response going to be? But that person was hearing, and he became transformed, and he became a devotee. That yes, what Prabhupada is telling is right. And we are eating sattvic food, you are eating nasty items, and the pig is also becoming fat, the pig is also happy, you are also happy. What is the difference between you and a pig? So obviously we cannot speak like that, but what I am trying to tell is, when some senior devotees scold us, we should not uh, feel disturbed, and we should understand that it is good for us. And even though there may be some technical issues, or he may not have understood us, etc., but we should take it as our karma, and we should not give up the association of some, especially when our association becomes very close. For example, servants, personal assistants of sannyasis and all, they have sometimes tough time to go on. They may see them closely, they may see their bodily features, and they may find faults, etc. So when we closely associate with senior devotees, we may start finding faults or see their material aspect. But we should not consider that. Rather, we should only focus on the spiritual aspect and then take that association, and that will surely affect us. Some of the senior devotees, they may not be very sensitive, but they have good intentions, and that should what our focus should be, to take from there. And we should not have a rebellious nature. If there are any doubts, we should clarify. Sometimes we may have doubt, Prabhu, this devotee is senior devotee, but he is speaking like this, he is talking like this, he is behaving like this. I have doubts whether he is a good devotee or not. Sometimes his doubts will keep us behind in our spiritual progress. So you should immediately clarify with some senior devotee that, Prabhu, what do you feel about him? And when he glorifies him, then our doubts will be cleared. So in short, especially about Prabhupada's, any doubts, if it is there, we should immediately get it clarified, and there should be no trace of doubt. Otherwise, our bhakti will be choked up. So time is 8:11. I will just try to summarize what we discussed today, and then take some discussions if possible. So in nutshell, we started with this Prabhupada's main points in the purport, that how the material world is no place of happiness. It is appearing to be happy, and that is the illusion in which we are. The absence of happiness is appearing, absence of dukha is appearing to be happiness. So Prabhupada gave that famous example, and then we discussed that how the sadhu sangha is the solution, but what kind of sadhu sangha? We are taking sadhu sangha, but is it effective? Is it actually making us out of this illusion or not? And for that we discussed some factors affecting it. We started with the example of the new graduate trainee, who is difficult for getting a job, but the association, the recommendation did a breakthrough. Similarly, in our initial stages, we need association, but even after we get inside the bhakti path, we continuously need the association to make us go on. And then we discussed that shloka from Bhagavatam, prasangam ajaram pasham. The attachment is very strong, but if our attachment is towards the sadhu, then that will help us to come out of the material attachment and get us to liberation. So we discussed the factors which affect proper hearing, the source, bona fide force, our eagerness, our submissiveness. And even though it may be something related to yoga or Sanskrit, we should take guidance, and adhikar we should check. Because if a small person who has not much advanced in bhakti, if he associates with non-devotee for all these reasons, it is very good chance he may get deviated. So we should check our adhikar. If our seniors bless, then we can do that. Otherwise, we should be careful. And yeah, we discussed that how to not do selective hearing, but do proper maturely we should take. So sadhu sangha is very important, and proper sadhu sangha of Srila Prabhupada, who gave us pure devotional service. And in our preaching also, we should, yes, we should do sensitively, but we should not withhold them from the actual bhakti core aspects from for a long time. Like some preachers, they don't introduce Hare Krishna Mahamantra for months together. Shh, वो अभी हरे कृष्ण इस्कॉन नहीं बोलना है, वरना वो लोग चले जाएंगे. अभी धीरे धीरे आ रहे हैं, अच्छा प्रसाद खा रहे हैं, तो हरे कृष्णा कब चैंटिंग इंट्रोड्यूस करेंगे? प्रभु करेंगे करेंगे, 2-3 महीना जाने दो, उसके बाद करेंगे. 4-5 महीने जाने दो. Then when they will take up to bhakti, we should not keep them far from the, because chanting is going to purify them. You know? So our lectures are not going to purify them. The association of Prabhupada and the holy name will purify them. So we should give them, and while preaching the devotees also, in our lectures also, and many of us, in some or the other way we are preachers. So when we meet and when we associate, we should not bereft the living entity from pure devotional service just because it appears to be difficult. Eventually we should target that we want to give them pure devotional service because Prabhupada wanted to give us. So it may be difficult, but material life is impossible, and at least our endeavor should be to how, if we are not able to guide them, then somehow get in them to touch with senior devotees who can guide them towards pure devotional service slowly and gradually. But our goal should not change to just somehow keep them hanging on and then not getting the pure benefit what Prabhupada came to give us. And this can be obtained by our own strong faith. Prabhupada tells that sadhu sangha we have to do. So ISKCON is giving this facility. So first of all, ourselves we have to become proper sadhu. And that can happen when we have strong faith in Prabhupada as a proper representative. That yes, what Prabhupada has given is enough, and there is nothing more required. We don't have to read or go here and there, and be satisfied with whatever is given by Srila Prabhupada, and give the same respect to Shiksha Guru, is what we discussed. Shiksha Guru, who is also our mentor, our counselor, our Bhakti Vriksha leader, etc. We should give them similar respect, and we should have same faith and love. Obviously, we may not have exactly as our Diksha Guru, but at least he is representing. In that fashion, we should have similar respect. Then only the hearing process will act nicely. And hear Prabhupada lectures again and again to get the mood of Prabhupada. When we hear him more and more, we'll get the mood. And then we saw that how Prabhupada is sometimes very strong, but we cannot imitate for sure. We cannot tell in our preaching that you are a pig, etc. But my point was that we should be speaking and imbibing Prabhupada's mood of giving pure devotional service. And it may appear strong, but we should have no hesitation in giving them Prabhupada, because his modes and his conviction is very pure, and that will surely bring the living entity to Krishna nearby. And finally, there should not be any doubts. If we have any doubts about any preacher in ISKCON or any senior devotee, we should get it clarified. We may be bewildered by their behavior sometimes. One devotee hit one brahmachari that you are not singing properly. He was speaking little bit in between. So somebody were little bewildered, but he is a very Prabhupada man, Pakka Prabhupada man. So if we can tolerate such things, then we can get the benefit what they are carrying Prabhupada in their heart. So this is what I wanted to share. I am very, very sorry for the internet disturbance which came. I hope afterwards it was clear, at least the voice was audible. So I would like to pause here. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Thank you very much for this opportunity. If there is any comments, clarifications, corrections, I am very, very open. Please share that without any hesitation for everyone's benefit. Thank you, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, that was Prabhu. Thank you for sharing Srila Prabhupada words and also the realization and sharing different aspects of tips to improve our hearing or how we can follow effective hearing. Thank you, Prabhuji. The devotees may please unmute the lines and share your questions, reflections, or comments, please. Prabhuji, I
Hare
just
Krishna,
want, yeah, go ahead, Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Dandavat Pranams. Thanks for the wonderful class, Prabhu. Prabhu, can you please elaborate on that point? Don't be selective, because we don't have much time now, Prabhu. So, what does it actually mean, Prabhu? Not to be
Ah,
selective.
yeah. So, the meaning of selective hearing is whatever we like. Hmm? So, for example, some preacher will tell, quoting Prabhupada, that Prabhupada told that Varnashram system is very important, and unless one doesn't come on Varnashram, he is not a human being, and that will help our preaching to grow on a wide scale. So, Prabhupada will write somewhere like this, and the preacher will take only that, and he will keep preaching in his class. See, Prabhupada is telling here Varnashram is the thing required, and there is no other way unless we get Varnashram into picture. But on the other side, Prabhupada also writes that Varnashram we cannot bring back like how it was in the Vedic times. Correct? So, Prabhupada has given this aspect also, that we cannot just turn around it like before. So, we have to see, like Prabhupada tells, it is difficult to get a monarch, which was possible in the Vedic times. So with that practicalities, our ISKCON GBC people and all, how they are planning, and they are making a plan that okay, there should be a farm community, or this much we can do, and not everybody can go to the farm communities because they are accustomed to city life, and the whole process is like Varnashram is useless unless there is no sadhu sang, unless there is no chanting, unless there is no shravanam and kirtanam. That is what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told to Ramanand Rai, Eho Bahya, Age Kaho Rai. So when one picks up from one corner and enhances in his classes, just quoting Prabhupada said, that is selective reading and hearing. Is it clear now, Mataji?
Yes, Prabhu. I was thinking we should hear from everyone like that. Thank you, Prabhu. Understood now.
Yes,
Hare
yes.
Krishna, Dandavat.
Dhanvat Pranam, Mataji.
Prabhuji, I want to add one point with respect to the effective hearing. So I was hearing in another senior devotees class where he mentioned that it's like a cow actually eats the grass and then it sits in one place and then it actually chews. So similarly, when we hear, after that it's very important to do some smaranam and try to recollect what is that we actually heard, and that actually really helps to improve our spiritual progress is what I hear, sort of sharing that.
Oh, yes, that is very, very important. Mananam and Nididhyasanam. So, Parasparanu Kathanam. And that is what I heard from Gaurang Darshan Prabhu also, that Bhagavatam we should not only discuss during Bhagavatam class, but off the class also. And if that is the subject matter for our discussion, that is wonderful. And that will mature our understanding. Because sometimes what we understand is little different from what others understand, and when we hear from there that oh, this is what and this is how he told, then our understanding also matures. So that nididhyasanam is also very, very important. That is another 25% of our sadhana. Thank you for adding that point, Sankarshan. Priya Prabhu.
Great, devotees. Any other comments, questions? Prasadeshwar Prabhu,
Prasadeshwar Prabhu should add
more.
and correct me if there are anything here
Yes,
and
senior
there I have
devotees.
spoken.
Prasadeshwar Prabhu, Prasannatma Balaram Prabhu. No, no, no. Okay, Prabhuji, I think there are
Yes.
no comments or questions.
Okay.
Thank you very much, Prabhuji. Despite your
Thank
busy schedule, you have agreed to give class. Thank you very much, and we will end today's session with Vaishnava Pranam, Prabhuji.
वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः. Thank you, Sankarshan Priya Prabhu.
Prabhuji, Granthra Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Jagat Guru
Jai.
Sabhi Manta Koti Vaishnava ki jai. Jai Gaurav Maharaj. Hare Krishna devotees, tomorrow we will have class in the temple at 8:30 as usual.